Welcome to Mother Knows Best. In today's episode, I want to talk about standards. What do they mean to you? Should we have them? Should we not have them? Um, kind of formulated a little plan when it comes to standards because after much debate, I believe that people attach standards to judgment when in reality, standards are imperative to growth. Because if you let just anything, any type of energy, any type of person permeate, your sphere of peace, it's kind of like you're out here with the wolves. So I want y'all to, think about that and help y'all get it down pat. So I got PAT. First is your standard practical. Is what you're asking for in a partner, in a friend relationship, in a work relationship, practical to reality. A, do you have the aptitude? Meaning, do you have the knowledge, the wisdom, the education, that standard up to par to be able to receive what's coming at you, to be able to identify it? And then T, is it timely? Time sensitive, right? Because people come into this idea of having standards and they say at maybe 25, I would like a man with, washboard abs and tight muscles and just can run real fast. And fast forward up to 10 years, you got to look at the average man that's 35. He may or may not have that washboard stomach. And then at that age, what you're asking for, is it practical? Do you also have the body to match what you're looking for? I feel like we get very entitled, and we really truly believe that we can just put our order in, no matter if we're prepared to receive it, or no matter if our karma allows for that to come to us, because I really do believe that we all develop a karmic bank since the first day we take our first breath. And in this karmic bank, when you begin to develop reasoning, logical thinking, the energy that you put out into the universe and the world around you, it all moves in a circle and it comes right back to you. Everything you put out into the world comes back to you in this universal force and hit you, whether it's warm and fuzzy and cuddly and caring and nurturing, or just really wicked. And I think it's important for people to understand that your karmic bank got to be built up when you put in these tall orders in. If you know your attitude stinks, you out of shape, your money's funny, you need to be practical about the person that you're requesting, the tall orders of friendship that you're requesting. Because in order to receive a friend, are you being a friend? If you want to receive this phenomenal individual that's there for you through thick and thin, that got your back, that would give you the shirt off of theirs, are you that type of person? Because what happens is you requesting that type of person. Say you do run across someone with some of these attributes. In reality, now you're in the negative. Your bank's in the negative. So when they're giving energy to you and you can't reciprocate it, you're getting filled up and depleting them. And I think this is why it's important for people to understand that standards have to be down pat. Is it practical? Do you have the aptitude to understand and surmise what it is that you're asking for? And is it timely, right? I like to give this advice to women, especially single mothers, especially women over the age of 30, because it's not like this is a ticking time bomb and your eggs are drying up. None of that foolishness. But the reality of the matter is, between ages of 30 to 40, that's when you're way past concrete thinking and you become set in the person that you are. And it is very difficult at that point to change and to be reset. So when you're attracting friendships, you're operating in a circle, a realm of the moral and conduct of that friendship. If you're attracting a mate, you want to be in a relationship, you are operating in that cycle and that circle of the morals and conduct of that relationship. And it's going to be very hard for you to attract that mate and then go and tell him everything he needs to do to be with you. He has to be that type of person already, just like you have to be that type of person already. And if you're not, you have to be malleable. You have to be able to bend and adapt and be flexible in your thinking to be able to receive this type of energy back from someone. People never consider the roles that they need to play and the ways in which their growth has to have been developed to bring in what they want so much. People say, I want abundance. I want to have a lot of money. I want to have a lot of material things. And the reason why is because I see Sam and Sally and Keisha got it, so that's what I would like. Instead of saying, I want abundance in my life because it's going to make me feel more fulfilled and walk in my step in order to be in harmony with my path and purpose. But the reality of the matter is that's not practical because you should already be there. No matter if you're living in a box, it may not be the best place to live, but even in that box, your wheel should be turning, your clock should be ticking to when you have that opportunity to get to that next level up out of that box into something better. That requires being practical, that requires having aptitude, and the timeliness of it. How long you want to stay in that box? You want to jump right out of it? Or you want to give yourself some time for the winter to set in? Are you going to be patient? Or are you ready to get to getting it? I feel like when you put some fire up under your own behind to do things, it's something way different than somebody or karma or the universe forcing you to make a change because you do want to progress and thrive as a human. I think it's so important to constantly sit back and analyze your day, how the day went, and ask yourself, could I have been better? Could I have done better? And if you don't know how to do better, begin to educate yourself on how to be better, how to spread more positive energy. Because what happens is when you begin to transform and you begin to share this positive energy, then you begin to magnetize yourself to attract more positive energy. And that's the way that works. A lot of times we're sitting up miserable about what we do not have, but we do not even smile. We do not engage with other human beings that we come across in the store. We always have a closed off body posture, arms crossed, in a fighting stance all the time, like ready for whatever. And it comes off as very brash and uninviting. We're not wearing bright colors, soft colors. Our voice is always very rigid and loud. Yet we want to attract a mate that's in his masculine energy so we can be soft and feminine. You have to already begin to have this experience within your own life. It is not something that's just going to come to you overnight and then you're going to just switch to this goddess. I think the biggest thing I want to express is that it's a mind thing. And it's okay to gracefully bow out of things that do not meet your standards, but you don't have to do it in a way that's negatory at all. You could just simply say, it's really been a pleasure to be in contact with you and your energy, but I'm heading thus and so place, and I still like to experience more being added to me. And if you don't have the capacity to add that, that's okay. You'll find your person that you match with. And I wish you well. It doesn't have to be like, you know what? Beepity boppity boo, you ain't nothing but a beepity boppity boo. And you're not good enough. And I say this and I say this a lot. If we dated better, if we were more cautious and consciously aware of the way that we interacted with one another, then a breakup wouldn't be a breakup. It would be a celebration of going to the next level. And maybe you leveled up and the person didn't level up with you, but they learned. You taught them something and they learned a lesson. So maybe it wasn't a blessing, but it was a lesson, right? So then in turn, they would say, you know what? I thank you. I thank you for what you've taught me, what you've given me, and you were always there for me. And I wish you well. And I pray that you find an energy that matches you in such a way that you are happy. And then you say likewise. If we can get to that, then when two people move on from each other and head in different directions, it's not really a parting. Both people are left in peace, but that requires an emotional intelligence and maturity that many people don't have. I think that more than anything, we have to start to see one another as energetic beings that are worthy of more. Standards are simply setting a line, and that can be topped or it can remain right there, but it is a line that's very imperative. And the older you get, you find that your standards are more and more concrete and unwavering, and it's because most of us feel at a certain age we're running out of time. You hear people say, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to be dealing with this. In reality, we put time on what affects our standards, when our standards should be evergreen. They should be unwavering because they should be in line with our core principles. And if you don't know what your core principles are at this big age, it is really time to do some inner work. Standards shouldn't be things such as, oh, well, I want her to have some nice double D's, and I need that waistline to be a certain way. All of those things are outwardly. When you start from the inward and you work your way out, you'll find that your standards are way, way much more satisfying to fulfill. So when you start inward, you say things like, I want to experience a woman or a man with moral compass. I want a man that has a heart, a warm heart, and feels like home. That's respectful when he speaks. That is uplifting. I want a man that's inspiring to me. When he speaks to me or when she speaks to me, they pour light into me. They lift me up. Even when I feel like I'm already lifted, I just go higher. And it also wouldn't hurt if he was chocolate right at the end, right? Or he had almond-shaped eyes, or he was 6 foot, or it's okay if he's 5'7". All of those things are after the fact, because it is much easier for the universe to fulfill that idea of someone with a warm heart and then work their way out, because he might not be 6 foot. He might be 5'9". He might be 5'10". So please, whatever you do, let your standards be inward and then go out. Let your standards be on the emic level and then work the way out to the etic level. Let your cultural standards start with the core values of a person. I think this is super important because if we start seeing things that way, you're going to see that you're going to attract your person for real. And you're going to know right off when you see them. But the only reason why you're not attracting the right people to you right now is because you're looking out instead of in. You missed all the meat. You done missed all the meat in the middle. And ultimately, it is up to us to shape our standards for our future legacy. It is not hateful of any other group to say what you want and say it with your chest. But it's your why that's everything. Thank you for listening to Mother Knows Best, Episode 3, Season 1. Talk to you soon.